Circulatory system. The circulatory system, also called the cardiovascular system, or the vascular system. What are the parts of the circulatory system? Circulatory system is made up of heart and blood vessels. Blood circulation inside. Let's talking about heart first. The human heart is situated in the middle mediastinum, at the level of thoracic vertebrae T5 to T8. A double-membraned sac called the pericardium surrounds the heart and attaches to the mediastinum. The back surface of the heart lies near the vertebral column, and the front surface sits behind the sternum and rib cartilages. The upper part of the heart is the attachment point for several large blood vessels, the venae cavae, aorta, and pulmonary trunk. The upper part of the heart is located at the level of the third costal cartilage. The lower tip of the heart, the apex, lies to the left of the sternum, 8 to 9 centimeters from the midsternal line, between the junction of the fourth and fifth ribs near their articulation with the costal cartilages. The largest part of the heart is usually slightly offset to the left side of the chest, though occasionally it may be offset to the right, and is felt to be on the left because the left heart is stronger and larger, since it pumps to all body parts. The heart is cone-shaped, with its base positioned upwards and tapering down to the apex. An adult heart has a mass of 250 to 350 grams, 9 to 12 ounces. The heart is often described as the size of a fist, 12 centimeters, 5 in length, 8 centimeters, 3.5 wide, and 6 centimeters, 2.5 in thickness, although this description is disputed, as the heart is likely to be slightly larger. Well-trained athletes can have much larger hearts due to the effects of exercise on the heart muscle, similar to the response of skeletal muscle. The heart is a muscular organ in human, which pumps blood through the blood vessels of the circulatory system. The heart usually beating about 60 to 100 times per minute. With each heartbeat, the heart sends blood throughout the bodies, carrying oxygen to every cell. After delivering the oxygen, the blood returns to the heart. The heart then sends the blood to the lungs to pick up more oxygen. This cycle repeats over and over again. The circulatory system of the blood has two pathways, a systemic circulation and a pulmonary circulation. Arteries carry blood away from the heart, and veins carry blood back to the heart. These two pathways come from the heart. The pulmonary circulation is a short loop from the heart to the lungs and back again. The systemic circulation carries blood from the heart to all the other parts of the body and back again. While humans have a closed cardiovascular system, which means that the blood never leaves the network of heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries. What are the parts of the heart? The heart has 4 chambers, 2 on top and 2 on bottom. The 2 bottom chambers are the right ventricle and the left ventricle. These pump blood out of the heart. A wall called the interventricular septum is between the 2 ventricles. The 2 top chambers are the right atrium and the left atrium. They receive the blood entering the heart. A wall called the interatrial septum is between the atria. The atria are separated from the ventricles by the atrioventricular valves. The tricuspid valve separates the right atrium from the right ventricle. The mitral valve separates the left atrium from the left ventricle. Two valves also separate the ventricles from the large blood vessels that carry blood leaving the heart. The pulmonic valve is between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery, which carries blood to the lungs. The aortic valve is between the left ventricle and the aorta, which carries blood to the body. In pulmonary circulation, the pulmonary artery is a big artery that comes from the heart. It splits into two main branches and brings blood from the heart to the lungs. At the lungs, the blood picks up oxygen and drops off carbon dioxide. The blood then returns to the heart through the pulmonary veins. In systemic circulation, the aorta is a big artery that leaves the heart carrying the oxygenated blood. Branches off of the aorta send blood to the muscles of the heart itself, as well as all other parts of the body. Like a tree, the branches get smaller and smaller as they get farther from the aorta. At each body part, a network of tiny blood vessels called capillaries connects the very small artery branches to very small veins. The capillaries have very thin walls, and through them, nutrients and oxygen are delivered to the cells. Waste products are brought into the capillaries. Capillaries then lead into small veins. Small veins lead to larger and larger veins as the blood approaches the heart. Valves in the veins keep blood flowing in the correct direction. Two large veins that lead into the heart are the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Once the blood is back in the heart, it needs to re-enter the pulmonary circulation and go back to the lungs to drop off the carbon dioxide and pick up more oxygen. How does the heart beat? The heart gets messages from the body that tell it when to pump more or less blood depending on a person's needs. For example, when we are sleeping, it pumps just enough to provide for the lower amounts of oxygen needed by our bodies at rest. But when we are exercising, the heart pumps faster so that our muscles get more oxygen and can work harder. How are the heartbeats controlled by a system of electrical signals in the heart? The sinus node, or sinoatrial node, is a small area of tissue in the wall of the right atrium. It sends out an electrical signal to start the contracting of the heart muscle. This node is called the pacemaker of the heart because it sets the rate of the heartbeat and causes the rest of the heart to contract in its rhythm. These electrical impulses make the atria contract first. Then the impulses travel down to the atrioventricular node, or AV node, which acts as a kind of relay station. From here, the electrical signal travels through the right and left ventricles, making them contract. What means cardiac output? Cardiac output, CO, is a measurement of the amount of blood pumped by each ventricle, stroke volume, in 1 minute. This is calculated by multiplying the stroke volume, SV, by the beats per minute of the heart rate, HR. The average cardiac output, using an average stroke volume of about 70 ml, is 5.25 L per minute, with a normal range of 4.0 to 8.0 L per minute. The stroke volume is normally measured using an echocardiogram and can be influenced by the size of the heart, physical and mental condition of the individual, sex, contractility, duration of contraction, preload and afterload. Preload refers to the filling pressure of the atria at the end of diastole, when the ventricles are at their fullest. A main factor is how long it takes the ventricles to fill. If the ventricles contract more frequently, then there is less time to fill, and the preload will be less. Preload can also be affected by a person's blood volume. Afterload, or how much pressure the heart must generate to eject blood at systole, is influenced by vascular resistance. It can be influenced by narrowing of the heart valves, or contraction, or relaxation of the peripheral blood vessels. The preload and strength of heart muscle contractions controls the stroke volume. Here is the basic information about blood. If you like the video, you could subscribe the channel, and you could find more useful video there, and more nice videos will come soon. Thanks for watching.